This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, can you hear me? Good morning. Is it my screen is visible?
Good morning, sir. Yes,
Can
it is.
yes, okay. Escape. Cool. Yeah. This is a demo session. Like as a full stack developer, what are the things we are going to cover and what you will be learning after end of this course? What are the things you will be aware of that? This is what I'm going to discuss. And in between, if you have any questions, you can stop me and you can ask the your questions. Like your learning path starts so like this. Like as a full stack developer, you will start first with the dev environment, like getting familiar with the dev. Okay, dev environment where you will be learning about the how to install the required things. Like you are a Java full stack developer or any developer. First thing is we have to set up the our dev machine ready. So once you enter into the company, most of the places there will be a operational team. They will be taking care of that. At times, if so few things are not working, you need to do that here. To tell that dev operational team also, you should know what are the things you required here. Like the typically one IDE is required here. Okay. So IDE here we are going to use the IntelliJ IDE. We are going to use it here. IntelliJ IDEA we are going to use it here. This is an IDE, integrated development environment, where it comes with the compilers and a debugger, necessary tools you to develop the application. Then we need a one database, or we can say it as a Java. Java, you can say it as a latest version. This is not Java. We can say it as a JDK. What is the JDK version you required here? We would be using the latest version, Java version. You can say it as a Java version 22. We would be using here. That's the latest version as of today. And every 6 months they will be releasing the new version. They will be releasing that. Okay. Whenever they release the new version, we would be learning the hey, what are the new things they have added, and you will be learning, and then we'll move on that. Then there is how the version control system, like Git. Okay. Git we are going to install, and how to work with the Git, and what are the Git commands, the basic things we'll learn about that. And from the IDE, how we are going to use the Git, we will be learning in a feature. But here we are going to install the Git, and we will create a one cloud account called the GitHub account, github.com, where we will create a one account with them. And this GitHub account, what are the Git we are using here? It is a local. So we want to store you want to manage your repositories in cloud. We would be using the we would be using the GitHub. You are going to use it here. There is only two providers as of today. One is a GitHub or Bitbucket. So most of the organizations, they will be using the one of these things, either GitHub or Copilot, GitHub or Bitbucket. They would be using that. Then you need to have the connection with the database. Like if you take the database, one database we need to install, and we would be using the PostgreSQL is the database we are going to use it here. And this PostgreSQL we will not install in our local. Instead of that, we will use the cloud service. We'll use it here, render.com. This is a service provider like Amazon, AWS. This render.com is a cloud provider where they offers the database as a service. We will register with them, and we'll see how we can like no, they give the free tier of 1 month. 1 month is good enough for us to learn database and database concepts. So we will be using the render.com. We are going to use it here. In order to connect with this render.com, we required a DB client. There is something called the DB client. This is a DB client. We are going to use the something called the dviewer. This dviewer is a universal database client where you can connect with the multiple databases. We can connect like SQL databases, then no SQL databases. uh, uh, most of the things, like no, most of the database, you name a database, they have a connection for that. And then when you are learning the UI, we would be using the another editor. You can say it as a lightweight IDE. This is another IDE. So this is another IDE we will be installing here is a VS Code. VS Code we are going to install. And the build tool is here. We are going to use the build tools. We will be using it as a Maven. We are going to use it here. Maven or a Gradle. We will be using the Maven. And then there are some extra things we need to install here, like build tools are Maven project build tools, and in order to do the image, and we will be using the Docker desktop. So these are the basic things we need to install in our machine. First, we learn about the how we are going to install these things. Once we install these things, then we will start learning about the all these things. What is Java, and what is a JIT, and like what is IDE, how to use the IDE, how to create a project. These all these things you will be learning here. As a next step, once you are done with this here, we would be learning about the programming fundamentals. We are going to learn about the programming. We are going to learn about that here. Our first programming with Java we'll be learning here. Already, if you know, if you are familiar with that, that's well and good. If not, like we will start from the basics. What is a programming, and what is the uh, source code, and how we are going to compile your program. Like we will be discussing about the basics. First, we will start with the basics, and where we will discuss about the basic elements of that here. Like now, what is a variable? What is a data type? Okay, data types and keywords. What is a keyword? The fundamentals, will start with that. Then how we are going to compile your program, what happens when you compile your program, why do you need compilation. So such a fundamentals we will be discussing. Once you are done with that basics, then we will be discussing about the how to write the if, for, while. Okay, for, while, switch. Okay, then we are going to take the if else if. There are nested ifs, how to write that here, for loops, while loops. Yeah, how do you write this the conditional statement, iterative statements, the selection statements, how to work with that, we'll learn about that here. Once you have got familiar with that here, then we will start with our discussion with the arrays, strings. Okay, then we will discuss about the enums, what is the enums, and how the enums are useful. Then you will be learning about the object oriented programming. So we'll discuss about the exceptions, collections, then threads. Okay, reflection and annotations. Okay, these are the things we'll be learning here. Okay, I did not list even minute details. Okay, at a high level, these are the things you would be learning about that here. Once you learn this programming, you can develop a standalone application. You can develop a one standalone applications you can develop here. When we are working, when you are learning the programming, these concepts will help you to get familiar with the syntax and the concepts. And during this process, we would be learning about the external files, like how to use the external files, and how to work with the here you would be learning the external files, working with the external files, how we are going to use the working with external files. Okay, what is this working with the external files, and what kind of files you are going to work with that? I'll be explaining that here. Like typically when you are working in any applications, your data will be exchanged from one system to another system, or uh, you are you are going to upload and you are going to download. Typical formats, like a commonly used formats are JSON, XML, XML, and then you have a Excel, CSV, and then there is something called the PDF. So this is the things. So during this learning, we are going to learn about the how to work with the external file system. Working with the external file system, like JSON, XML, Excel, CSV, PDF. So in order to work with this library, we have to work with the third-party libraries. Like JSON, we are going to work with the faster XML, and XML also we will be working with the faster XML. And if you take there is another commonly used format is AML. Okay, these are the file systems. These are the files very commonly we will be using in the applications like JSON, AML, XML, CSV, PDF. How to generate a PDFs and how to create a CSV, how to read from the CSV, how to generate Excel, how to read from the Excel, the AML, and then you have a JSON, how to work with the JSON. These topics we will be learning. Once you are done with that, then you are going to start your learning about the database. You're going to learn about the database. You are going to learn that here. Okay, here you are going to learn the, as an extra topic, database. This database concepts we are going to learn by using the one of the database. You are going to use it here, like either relational database, one of the relational databases. That relational database can be the Oracle or MySQL or PostgreSQL or DB2. So you can choose anything here, but we are going to work with the PostgreSQL, PGSQL. They generally people call it here. This is a PGSQL. We are going to learn about that here. PostgreSQL, we are going to take it here, and this is a place where you will be learning about the fundamentals of the SQL, like what are the tables, like all the commands, like DDL, DDL, DML, DQL, TCL, and DCL. How to work with that here? What is the joins? Okay, the joins are, again, we have different types of joins. We have left join, right join, full join, like all kind of joins you are going to discuss here. Subqueries, how to write the subqueries, how we are going to write a sub queries. You are going to write it here. Okay, subqueries, how we are going to write it, we will be learning here. Once you are done with the subqueries, then we are going to learn about the index. Then we are going to learn about the window functions, how to write the window functions. Like this is a row number. Okay, row number, rank, dense rank, rank, dense rank. Like this, you have got the different concepts you are having here. These concepts you would be learning about that. Once you are done with this, the databases, so you will get the like writing the basic queries to the complex queries, like what is the constraints, primary key, foreign key, how this primary key and foreign key will be maintained. Then you are going to learn about the like if you have a complex data, how do you find the top 5 paid employees or top 4 sold product. By using window functions, you will be finding that here. And here we will give you some assignments for you, like you can create your own schema, and uh, that schema you will be executing, and you are going to write those queries. Yeah. And here whatever you are learning here, every day you will be giving the one assignment. Okay, the assignment and the classroom, all programs, it is going to be coded in front of you guys, like yeah, the code is going to shared with you. Okay, so the running notes and the code, whatever we do and what are the assignments, it will be shared in a GitHub link, and you will be cloning that repository, and we are going to keep it for your reference. Cool. I learned the database, and once I learned this database, now here we are going to connect this database. Okay. One more thing here, when you are learning the core Java, we are going to learn one more concept. We are going to learn the one more concept. Okay, one more concept that's called the JUnit. You will be learning about the JUnit. So how do you write the unit test cases for your application? You are going to learn about that here. Okay. Once you are done with that here, Java programming, then you are working with the external files. Then you are going to learn about the JUnit. Sorry, guys. Then you would be learning about the database. And once you learn this database, and how do you connect your Java programming with the database? Suppose if I'm taking here, I have written a my Java program. I know very well. I have written a my Java client. I have written or Java application. You are going to say that here. This Java application, I need to connect with the database. This database may be running in your local or it may be running in a cloud. So this is a database. I want to connect with this database and I have to persist my data in the database. We know that how to connect with the database by using the DB client. That's nothing but the DBover. By using the DBover, how to connect with that you will be learning here. But how do you connect your Java application to the database? In order to connect that here, we require something called the JDBC. Okay, you require a JDBC is required here. Now here, when I take it here, JDBC, this is a JDBC. You are going to take it here. Cool. JDBC. So this JDBC is an API which will help us to connect to the underlying relational databases. It is going to connect with that here. Now your Java application, you're going to learn JDBC. What are the API? JDBC is an API which will provide the classes and interfaces and implementations. And by using that, you would be connecting with the your database. And what are the you want to perform operations? You are going to perform by using the Java application. All these queries you can execute them. So the next concept you would be learning about the JDBC. You're going to learn about that here. JDBC. Okay. This JDBC, you will be learning about the what is the connection and what is the statement, what is a prepared statement. Okay. So these are the concepts you would be learning here. And how do you write that to the statements and prepared statements? So what is the difference between that and like performing all the CRUD operations you would be doing here? Okay. CRUD operations. How to do the CRUD operations? Not only CRUD operations, we will write the advanced queries also. Whatever we learn in SQL, you are going to use the Java application, you would be writing that here. So this is the basic knowledge every developer is required. Like whether you are a Java full stack developer or the QA automation side, if you want to go, or Android developer if you are planning to go, this knowledge every developer must have. One programming language, one database, and the familiar getting familiar with the usage of the tools. Now you can decide here, hey, which one should I go here? You can decide your career path. Should I go it as an Android developer? Should I go it as a mobile development side? Do I want to go as a testing automation side? You can decide that here, because these are the basic things. So far, whatever JDBC, still JDBC is the basic elements, so any developer, whoever wants to become a developer, you must have the knowledge. Suppose if you are going with the .NET or Python, only the programming language will change, remaining everything will be the same. Yeah. And being a Java knowledge, it is easy for you to learn Python or other programming languages. Once you familiar with the Java and you got a good hang of the programming language, you can go and comfortably work with any other programming language. Yeah. So far, any questions? So far, any?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead,
So,
please.
I am using a MacBook, so will there be anything different,
No.
like the
See, this is
operating system?
nothing different. And the Mac also, the brew is a very powerful command. Installing and all these things become very simple in Mac as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So by using the brew, you can install almost all the things you can install. Whatever I am listing here, so you can install that. It's not at all a difficult job. It's a very, very, very simple. They made it as a very simple. And whenever
All
it's
right.
upgraded, automatically they does the upgradation of that also. They will do that. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
cool. So once you learn that here, still here also we can develop the standalone application. We cannot develop the what you can call server side applications. You cannot develop that here. Before we are going to the server side application, we would be learning about the UI. We'll get familiar with the UI. So this is the UI technologies when you are learning here. So we are going to learn about the we will even UI also will start from the basics, like what is a UI and like what are the components it contains here. Everything we will be discussing here. The main focus we will be giving here is so HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, then we'll learn about the Ajax, how the Ajax, what is Ajax, how it works, HTTP calls, how it works. Then you will learn about the Bootstrap, what is a Bootstrap. So then finally you will be learning about the Angular. This is what. At a high level, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ajax, Bootstrap, and Angular. So here UI, we HTML, CSS, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I'll be asking you people to learn on your own. Just I'll give you the introduction and where to go and learn, and we'll be giving the pointers. JavaScript is the place where we'll spend time, and Angular we are going to spend this decent time. You will be spending, and you will be learning about the Angular. And Bootstrap is a we can say it as a responsive web pages where you are going to what you can say Bootstrap. By using the Bootstrap, we can create a responsive web pages. We can create it. Like these days everybody opens in the websites also in the mobile, and when you are opening in a mobile also, we have got the various sizes like 6 inches, 5 inches, 6.5 inches. According to the screen width, your content has to be fit. That will be taken care by the framework called the Bootstrap. How to use this Bootstrap, we will be learning about that here. Once you are done with that here, then you will start our learning server side technologies. Server side we are going to learn about here, and these server side concepts I'll be explaining to get familiar with the what is the server. Okay, where you are going to explain about the server and the client, what is a server and client, and then we are going to do that by using the servlets and JSPs. Okay, here we'll explain about the what is the server side programming, why do you need server side programming. Okay, how the your application can be accessed by using the browser, how to build that application. We will we will we will be explaining about that here, server and client, how this works, and we are going to explain. Once you are done with that here, now you are familiar with the how the web works, what is a UI, what is a like no Java and database connections, everything you learn about that here. Now in order to build a enterprise grade applications, we need to most of the organizations or most of the projects will use the enterprise frameworks. This is a place where we are going to learn the Spring Boot. We are going to learn about that here, like no Spring framework. The Spring framework we are going to learn about that here. Okay, the Spring framework, when you take that here, this Spring framework we will be learning by using the Spring Boot. We will be learning that by using the Spring Boot. So we'll explain about the what is a Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot, and then Spring Core. There are a lot of modules are there. Spring Mail, Spring Core, Spring AOP, and then we are going to take the Spring MEC, Spring Data, and why I'm writing the Spring every time. Spring Data, Spring Security, Spring, okay, email. Okay, how to work with the mail module. Spring with the Liquibase. Okay, Liquibase, how we are going to do the database migrations. So what is the database migrations? You will be learning about that here. Okay, Spring Core, where we will be learning how you are learn the core Java. The Spring Core is the module where it will cover the almost all fundamental concepts. It is going to cover the AOP, aspect oriented programming, MEC, where you are going to write the how to write the MVC applications, what is a RESTful web services, and how we are going to write a RESTful web services. Spring Data, this is a place where you are going to learn about the JPA. Okay, this is a wrapper for the Spring Data is a wrapper for the Hibernate and JPA concepts. So how to work with the databases, connect with the databases, those things you will be learning. And Spring Security is the place where we are going to add the security. And email, how we are going to send a email connectors. And Liquibase is a database migrations. How do you do that in your real-time applications? If you have a multiple environment, same scripts needs to be executed in a multiple environment. How to do that? We'll be explaining about that here. So once you are done with this year, you are ready with all these things, and there are some like you need to deploy your application. Okay, you need to deploy your application. Whatever your application you build, that application needs to be deployed into the servers, where you need to you are going to learn about the so some little bit about the DevOps. Okay, we are not going to cover all the things. We will explain about the what is a Docker, in a AWS, getting familiar with the AWS, how to work with the AWS. Okay, deploying your application into the AWS servers or render. Okay, so either one of these things you are going to take it here. What are the application you developed, you will be deploying into the either you do the docker image you are going to create. The docker image you would be deploying into the either AWS or render.com. And this is a place where we'll explain about the how the Jenkins works and GitHub actions. Either GitHub also has got their own actions, GitHub actions. I will be explaining about that here. So these GitHub actions are it's like a Jenkins. Instead of Jenkins, so people have started using the GitHub actions they are using here. So as a full stack developer, all these things you must aware of that. And your learning starts from the baby steps, installations, then getting familiar with the programming, working with the external files and writing the unit test cases for your own code, and learning about the databases and connecting your databases from your application. Then UI and this back what are the database you learn, how do you integrate and how do you make this is available on the internet, that you will be learning by using the servlets and JSPs. And then you learn the enterprise framework called the Spring framework. And by Spring framework, Spring applications will be created by using the Spring Boot. And these are the core concepts we will be discussing one by one. And finally you will be learning about the DevOps. So this is the way our learning path will continue. So does anyone has any questions here so far? And here each module, I'm saying that here one assignment is given, and then there is a small projects we'll be asking. We are going to build that here. What kind of projects you may build that here? No, let's take it here. You learn the database and you learn on all these things here. This is one of the simplest application we are going to ask you people to learn that here. No, hey, you develop a contact book application. Let's take it as a contact book application. Okay, when you are taking here contact book application, you will be saying that as a, hey, you develop a one application, contact book application, where you can manage all your contacts. No, the user, the moment the okay, the moment user is login, no, here he is going to provide the his details, login. And here you will be saying it as a username, and then you are going to give the password. Okay, password. Okay, he is going to log into the system. Just take it here. This is a login, and here we got the login. We got it here. Okay, then the moment you're going to say it as a login. Okay, once you say it as a login, and this is going to log into the system, and is going to land on the what you can call the home page, like where you are going to show it as a, this is a welcome, the username, and you can see all his contacts, like what are the contacts he's having here, you can see that here. uh, yeah, you can see all the contacts. The contact typically will maintain like some information, like where name, email, mobile number, and all these things here. And here we have got the some actions, like where you can say that here I'm not writing the name and email, that you got it that here. Yeah, here we'll say it as a delete. Okay, here you would be saying it as a share. Okay, here we are going to say it as a share. Okay, let me write it here, share contact, we are going to say that here. Okay, this is a delete. Okay, then here we have got the name, email, and other things you are going to maintain here. And here we have got the two more buttons. One is import, another one is export. Okay, import and the export, we are going to say that here. Cool, this is a import. Here we are going to say it as import, this is a export. Okay, where you can import the all the contacts from the Excel sheet, you can import, or you can export the all these contacts to the some Excel or CSV format, you can export that here. And when you do the share, you want to share this particular contact details to someone. Someone is you can take it as a somebody, like some other person you want to share that here. Okay, via email you want to share that contact details. Okay, or we can create a V card and we can share that here. But time being, what you are doing here, the moment you click on this link, it should open a pop-up where we are going to say that here, enter the email ID. Email we are going to ask here. Okay, so just you will be saying that here, enter email ID to share contact. Okay, the moment you click on this here, it is going to show enter the email ID to share the contacts. Before that, we want to show the preview of this contact. We want to show preview of this contact. This preview, how we are going to show it as a one QR code. This is a QR code. Okay, all contact details will be sent it as a QR code. You are going to send it here. You will create a, by using this contact information, you will create a one QR code, and here you are going to show the these are the contact details, like name, email, and everything. You will show that here. And the moment you enter the email ID, and when you say share, and we are going to share the all the contacts, you will be sharing that contact information, you would be sending it as an email. Here you are going to send it as a this QR code, and this contact information, what is the name and email, you are showing that here. And enter, the moment he enters the email ID and share, when you say that here, from your email ID you are going to send a mail to the this particular person. You are going to send a email. What is that? This contact information, you are going to send it as an email. This is a way you will be developing the, like the small projects you will be developing in the application, so that it will ensure that here how to, like you learned about the how to work with the external files, and you are going to use in your application, how I'm going to import, how I'm going to export, how do I generate the QR code, how do you generate how do I send a email. These all the things you will learn that here. Whatever you learn bits and pieces, you- during this learning phase, you will be developing this kind of small applications, multiple applications, you will develop that here. These applications will ensure that, so you are whatever you learn, you are applying those concepts, to solve these business problems. This is the main intention of that here. Like these projects, you will be doing the multiple projects, you will be doing that. So this is the way we would be delivering the session. Like every day you have a theory, and during this theory explanation, and we will, most of the things are hands on. We'll explain the concept and we'll start coding. Then we'll give the few examples and we'll give few assignment questions. And each topic will give a small projects, the kind of a mini projects we'll be giving that. This is what you can expect. And after end of this course, like no, you can say that no, at least you whatever we are telling, and if you practice and if you complete all the assignments, you can climb that 2 to 3 years experience. You can climb that. Any questions, guys? Okay, I'm more or less I'm done. If you don't have any questions, we are done with the demo. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned something from me this last 40 minutes. Yeah. I'll take questions if you have any questions.
How many months is this gonna continue for? So, like, what is the time
Min
duration for this?
minimum 2.5 months if you are continuing the session daily 1.5 hour.
Daily 1.5 hour. Okay. It's gonna be
Initially,
Monday to
initially,
Saturday, or how's it gonna
yeah,
be?
Monday to Saturday. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. So see you soon. Yeah.